Hello, dear friends. I'm Neet Shukla, and you're watching Balmurti Online in English, an initiative by the Unified Growth Foundation. Today's episode: Electronic Devices, a curse or a boon for children, is based on a Gujarati article called Electronic Upkarano, Balako Mate Shaap Ke Vardaan by Dr. Aarti Mehta. It takes a closer look at the double edged nature of mobiles, tablets, and screens, how they open doors to learning and connection, but also bring hidden risks that can harm a child's health, relationships, and growth. As you watch, reflect on how these devices are used in your family as well. Let's have a look.
Hello and welcome to Modern Musings. I'm your host Rohan.
And I'm Shruti. It's wonderful to be here. You know, Rohan, I was at a cafe yesterday and I saw a family at the next table,
Oh yeah.
parents, kids, maybe even a grandparent, all sitting together, but not really together. No one was talking. Everyone was just lost in their own little screen.
The classic modern family portrait. It's such a common sight now, isn't it?
Right.
It really makes you stop and think, are these electronic devices that are everywhere, are they a curse or a boon for our children?
You know, it's so interesting you frame it exactly like that. I recently came across a fantastic article on this very topic.
Okay.
It's written by a Dr. Aarti Mehta for a project called Balmurti Online.
Oh, Balmurti Online, I've heard
Yeah.
of them. They are managed by the Unified Growth Foundation.
Right?
They do some really solid and important work in the child development space.
Exactly. And in her article, Dr. Mehta calls these devices a double-edged sword, which I think is the most accurate description. On one hand, you simply can't deny the benefits.
Absolutely. I mean, just think about the COVID-19 pandemic.
Right?
Online education was a lifesaver.
Yeah.
My own niece in class 5 was learning coding from a teacher in another city.
Wow.
These devices brought the entire world into our homes. And let's be fair,
Yeah?
some video games genuinely improve hand-eye coordination and problem-solving skills.
That's true. And for the little ones, you know, the pre-primary kids.
Yeah.
They learn rhymes and the alphabet so quickly from educational videos. But that's one sharp edge of this word, Rohan.
Okay.
The other edge is much, much more dangerous. The article points out that the real problem begins with excessive and inappropriate use.
So, what's the difference? I mean, what counts as inappropriate use?
Well, Dr. Mehta gives a perfect example that I see it everywhere.
Okay.
A mother's trying to feed her child, and the only way the kid will take a bite is if there's a phone propped up in front of him.
Yeah.
The device has become a digital babysitter.
Oh, 100%. Or when parents are tired and just want some peace,
Right.
they hand over the iPad. Ja
Yeah.
beta, go watch your cartoons.
Exactly.
We are essentially outsourcing our most important job, parenting, to a screen.
And what's the result? Family road trips where everyone is plugged into their own world instead of playing Antakshari or just talking.
Yeah.
Dinner tables where the only sound is the clinking of cutlery because everyone's busy scrolling. The article powerfully highlights how this creates immense emotional distance. Children become lonely,
That's a really scary thought. Their social development just takes a massive hit.
right?
Instead of playing cricket in the park and learning how to handle a win, a loss, maybe have a small friendly argument, kids are now isolated at home and they're often playing violent video games. Dr. Mehta's article mentioned this.
Yeah.
This can lead to more impatient and impulsive behavior.
And the rabbit hole gets much darker. Knowingly or unknowingly,
Yeah.
children can stumble upon incredibly harmful content. The article talks about the serious risk of them seeing pornographic or extremely violent clips.
Wow.
At that tender age, their minds are so impressionable. And then there's the whole universe of social media pressure.
Oof, don't even get me started. That constant anxiety for likes and validation.
Totally.
And seeing these perfectly edited models in ads and developing completely unrealistic and damaging ideas about their own bodies.
Yes.
The article correctly points out how this directly leads to anxiety and deep feelings of inferiority.
And the advertisements, so many ads are crafted to be like irresistibly tempting.
Right?
Children start demanding things constantly, becoming more materialistic. And what about those dangerous stunts in some ads?
Oh, yeah.
Which impressionable teenagers might actually try to imitate?
For me, the biggest danger the article stressed, and I agree completely,
What's that?
is the idea of making friends online with total strangers. You have absolutely no idea who is on the other side of that fake profile.
None at all.
It can lead to such horrific situations like cyberbullying, financial exploitation, or even worse.
It's a digital minefield. And Dr. Mehta makes another crucial point. This isn't just about the kids. We adults are just as guilty.
Oh, for sure.
How many of us are compulsively checking our phones, getting lost for hours on Facebook or Instagram?
Right.
We are setting the example every single day.
That's so true. We have become slaves to the very devices that were designed to be our servants.
Yeah.
The article had these really hard-hitting lines at the end.
Oh.
It said, this cell phone has replaced our watches, our cameras, our computers.
But before this cell phone replaces our loved ones and our friends, we must wake up.
Wow.
It's as if we have all become prisoners in a cell phone prison.
Wow, that's a powerful and a chilling way to put it.
It is.
A genuine wake-up call from Dr. Aarti Mehta and the wonderful team at the Unified Growth Foundation's Balmurti online project.
It really is. Which I suppose leaves us and everyone listening with a very important question to reflect on.
I'm ready, let's hear it.
Now here's a question we'd like you to think about.
Okay.
In our own lives, what is one small conscious step we can take this week to reclaim our time and our relationships from the grip of these screens? What's one screen-free family ritual you could bring back?
This discussion makes us think about the role technology plays in shaping childhood today. I would like to ask you, what's one healthy boundary or habit you have set around electronic devices for your children? Share your ideas in the comments because your experiences might help other parents too. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel, follow us on our social media handles and visit our website for more such meaningful conversations. Namaskar.